Building a business may feel like a big jump, but OnDeck Small Business Loans can help keep you afloat. With lines of credit up to $100,000 and term loans up to $250,000, OnDeck lets you choose the loan that's right for your business. As a top-rated online small business lender, OnDeck's team of loan advisors can help you find the right business loan to fit your needs. Visit OnDeck.com for more information. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank. OnDeck does not lend in North Dakota. All loans and amounts subject to lender approval.
Amazing deals on activewear for all the ways you move are at Nordstrom Rack stores now.
How did I not know Rack has Adidas?
Oh, I love these new Nikes.
I always score at Rack.
Stock up on new gear from the best brands in the game, starting at just $40. Great brands, great prices. That's why you Rack.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, you ask me. I'll tell you anything.
You know, on our Patreon, I put it to them. I was like, do you guys want more? Like, did you like Fight Me? Do you want these hot takes?
No, those are the ones that didn't like Fight Me as the Patreon.
No, people were basically like, I said on there something like, do you like these hot takes? But if I'm more scandalous, you guys can't come after me. They're like, we want it. But here's the thing. I think there are patches of you that do. I think I have controversial takes on, not controversial. I think I have very smart takes on stuff, but I think people are too sensitive in general. And when you upset the sensitive people, like those are the ones that like go out of their way to cancel you. And that's the thing I'm worried about. Like if I told you that I thought homeless people should have to work for the right to be on the streets, meaning during the day you have to pick up trash as a way of earning your keep in our society because you can't have no value in a society, people would be like, oh, so you think homeless people should work? And then I'd be canceled.
It's the unhoused.
I'm not changing what I said. Who am I offending?
Well, there you go. I don't know. You want to, you're tempting cancel culture, which isn't a real thing because look at the people that have come back from it. It doesn't really matter.
No, it just cancels people like me. In another life, you would be canceling me. If you weren't a fan, you would be the first to be like, she said unhoused. And as someone who's been unhoused, who's been close to it.
I wouldn't even have, the problem is I don't have the energy to do it publicly, but I would be like, you know what? There is a comedian who was not particularly nice to me, who then got success, who I like, whenever anything bad happens to this person, I do send the article to a friend.
Wait, this is hypothetical or this is about me in another world?
This is not you. This is in this world. Who? There is a comedian that I don't like that I send articles about to someone.
You've never told me this. Oh, well, that person is a crazy person and anyone with intelligence knows that.
Yes, 100%. But it's just like, you know, when you just see all these news articles about someone and you're like, they're not good. You know what? I'm getting less and less relatable on this podcast. You know when you know people and they're in the news?
Well, you know, let's go back to my homeless idea. Wouldn't that be great to give people
your work camp for
it's
the
not
unhoused?
A work camp.
Yeah.
Pick up the trash. And then at the end of the day.
What if they don't have legs?
What if you didn't have legs? Do you even use your legs? Do you even deserve legs?
No. I don't deserve them.
I think that
someone else should have
There's a percentage of people who absolutely cannot work, cannot do anything. But I do think there are enough people, they already pick up trash. Let's not act like they aren't doing it for like 5-cent refunds. I don't think it's a bad idea to say this is a program that you could participate in and you will have self-worth and we will give you whatever it is, 3 hot meals or you can sleep somewhere at night. But the trade-off is you just help clean up the city. What's the big deal?
When you have a controversial, quote unquote, controversial opinion, do you know before you say it, people aren't going to like this? Because I have an opinion, a controversial opinion that I'm like, how could anyone have a problem with this? And then people get really offended, much like when I was anti-meal train. I also think people should have to take tests to have children. People are like, that's eugenics. And I'm like, what? No. So
first of all,
do you know?
Okay, there's too many questions at once. One is your controversial take about hot buttered popcorn. Second,
no, I gave my controversial take.
I don't think of myself as a controversial person. I think Shut up. I think anytime a woman deigns to have an opinion, she is open up to far more criticism than a man. And that is because men are seen as higher than women. So if I was a guy, like fully tatted up podcast bro, and I was like, yo, here's the thing, socialism, Marxism always said, and homeless people this, and I spat off a bunch of half scientific, half research bullshit truths, nobody would come for me. It wouldn't matter because my fan base already was the kind of person who wanted that. But because of what I've built as a thoughtful person, as someone who's like gone out of their way to be like, hey, I care about causes and like bled for this and shared personal stuff, you open yourself up to anyone who's like, you can't say that someone's unhoused. You can't even say it.
No, you can. You can't say they're homeless.
Yes, I can. I can and I did. But regardless, let's say experiencing unhouselessness. Then that becomes the issue. And I just think with women, we judge them a little bit harsher for saying stuff that is not harsh.
Well, I will say the comedian I don't like, do you know how many male comedians were horrible to me? And I don't like them either, but I don't rejoice in their failures because I don't expect anything of them.
The thing.
I think with women, I'm like, oh, I'm mad at this person. I have a grudge because I expected more. And that's absolutely true.
Did you expect more? Or did you expect them to treat you like an equal? And we don't expect that from men. And then when they don't.
Like a human. I think, I'm sure this is in across industries and at like corporate jobs as well. I faced it. But in comedy, yes, I was ready for men to not know who not remember me, to get mad at me, to like flip out. Like I was just ready for that. So then when they did, I was like, all right, whatever.
It's actually interesting that you're saying this because I wrote something about this recently and I'm not going to read it. But basically, here it is, so that when...
You didn't bring up prepared statements.
So that when, some TikTok comedian steals this, you'll know I had it first. I'm actually just not going to... It is a prepared statement, and it's funny that you said that because I was doing my purge from my phone of all the thoughts I've had for jokes to write them down into my joke book. And it's basically this. And it's incredible because this was not set up. Let me find the chunk.
We didn't have a producer's call before this where I was like, I'm going to tee you up to read your writings, your poem.
I would love it if we were having producers calls. Do you know how successful we'd be?
Is that what's keeping us from success, that you and I don't also talk on the phone?
A hot take on dogs and strollers. There are over 2,000 notes in here.
That's you, and you already did your purge?
No, I was doing it today and I didn't even realize I had all this. Hold on. You know what? I can't find it. Can't find it. So I'm just going to...
After all that, you don't have your prepared statement.
This is fucked up. I don't know where. Okay. It was basically that there is this line that like women are the greatest enemy to other women. It's all like women love to come to this revelation and it's always like, it's actually women are always against women. And what I hate about that is that it removes the fault of men at all. And so we as women are so conditioned to see other women as allies. So it does break a social contract when a woman is shitty. It hurts more because it's like, well, don't you know what this is like? But in doing that, in holding her more accountable, you are in a way releasing any man and men of the pain that they've caused you. Like you're not holding them accountable in the same way. And I don't know, you're sort of like comedy adjacent, like not being a comic with them all the time. It might be different, but like most women can think of a time that a man has been unhinged and either assaulted you, like been mentally abusive, done something totally unhinged, like walk out of a podcast interview, stop speaking to you, send you something threatening, physically threaten you, spread a rumor about you, try to sleep with you, try to derail your career, all of these things. And you're like, but she looked at me weird, so fuck her. Like we are so used to not picking the fights with men because the repercussions are so much greater. Like if I were on here, if I went on a major podcast and I said something awful about a specific guy, whomever it is, I would get ripped to shreds. Like if it was like a beloved guy. Versus if I got up there and I was like, I don't like that Real Housewife. Like she looks trashy. It's like, no, LOL. There is your health and your safety is at risk as a woman when you try to go after a guy. But after a girl, it's like, that's just women being bitches. And I think women say that. They're like, it's usually another woman. And we say that as a way of making the fight more internal. But like, and it's not about like men are worse than women, but it's like you hold women to such a ridiculous standard. And then it almost relinquishes any guy of anything he's done. And all of a sudden this woman's just left holding the bag.
Right. I think it's actually interesting tied into us talking about controversial things, because I think that we also kind of assume like with another woman, it's like, she could see reason. Like she might actually agree with me. If we really talked it out, like she might understand. Like when you say something that people don't like, Iliza, people will address it in such a way of like, I think Iliza, like, let me just explain to you, right? Like assuming they can change your mind.
Well, here's the thing.
I've seen that a lot.
I've seen that, and it often comes off as not only unhinged, but condescending. Only women tend to do it.
To other women, because you're
to
like,
other women.
okay,
And it's always like, listen,
woman to woman,
sweetie.
like,
Listen,
right.
sweetie. Like, I'm not your sweetie. I do feel, and I think this bleeds into like conservative versus liberal sort of territory. Not that there aren't conservative women who are off their fucking rockers, but I find that there's
They're
like
busy trying to sell me an MLM. They don't really have a lot else to say to me.
I just think, as someone who's very in the middle, I do think that a lot of feelings get involved when it comes to something that you said that hurt a woman's feeling, like on the podcast or something. And you're holding me to a standard, forgetting A, I'm a comedian, B, I'm here to give a hot take, and C, it can't possibly be personal because I don't know anyone.
Right. And that you talk for an hour a week plus for 52 weeks.
And that's just in
you
this
say
mic.
a lot of, and that's just right.
But I
that's
think
just
that's
right here.
People also, I mean, stand up aside, like I believe what you say on stage, especially if you're working out, like that's sacred. Even if I'm saying something horrible, it's still art in the process of being formed. Like it is freedom of speech, and this is, you don't have to like it. But if I get on stage and I say something, I'm like, we should eat horse meat, even if it offends you, this is like the clay that's going into what will be a sculpture. Like that's a sacred space. And on a podcast, like, look, you're tuning in to hear my hot take. And so you can't cherry pick. You can be upset, you can disagree, but this thing where you're like, and I'm going to speak to you about that. Like, no. I'm a grown woman, and I think I do a pretty good job of not saying anything hurtful, and I don't really lash out at stuff. But look, if you're going to be a fan of anyone, like they're going to say things, and people are human, and we're going to have opinions that you don't agree with. So I always applaud when people are like, I don't agree with everything, but I'm still your fan. Like plenty of celebrities, I'm like, I'm not their religion and don't have their views, but I still like their movies because you're not hurting anyone. So if I say something on this podcast that you've chosen to take offense to, I guess you should think about.
Now, why is this this is what
I wasn't apologizing.
Okay.
No, I was
It sounds like you're doing an address to the people.
I was saying this is a podcast.
Yeah.
I'm a brand and I'm a comedian with a point of view. And if you want someone that's always going to agree with you, that I'm not it.
Well, I can't wait for the development of your horse meat joke.
Here's the thing.
See that come to fruition.
A lot of countries eat horse meat, and I think their noses would make nice purses.
Ew.
If it's dying anyway.
Why is it dying?
You grew up on a farm. Like, you get it.
No.
Yeah, you're from Georgia.
Yeah, all the peanut farm. I think it comes down to we don't expect things of men to an extent. Like I know at work, I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask this person this, but this guy, I know he's not going to reply anything. But this person I know is going to give me like a full scale presentation. Like I just know. I'm like, you know what? He just replied a question mark. Yeah. I don't, that's unsurprising.
I mean, I have plenty of female friends that I know are bad texters or aren't good with stuff. So I just like, you teach people how to treat you, whether that's expecting a lot or a little. Some men write back immediately. I am a true feminist in that I really will treat you the way you treat me. And I think it's really easy to like always blame women or always get upset. And it's like, let's look at this full spectrum of experiences. There are plenty of horrific bitches out there who are unhappy for a multitude of reasons that are within their control, but they're just miserable, or the universe has chosen to shit on them. And you don't get a pass. I mean, I've written about this in my stand-up. Like, you don't get a pass just because you're a woman. I'm not going to do anything to like harm you, but I also like I live my life judging people based on how they act. That's it. If you're a woman and you're shitty to women, like for sure, fuck you. But if a woman and a guy are both shitty to me, I'm like, yeah, those are shitty people.
Right.
After a long day of battling the internet, I love to crawl into bed. We all do. And I love the idea that I can build my own bed. Not the actual bed frame, but all the things on the bed. When you were younger, it was like, well, whatever pillows show up, that's just what I'll have. A comforter I inherited from my Aunt Gladys, a mattress from God knows where. But you can build the coziest bed imaginable with Boll & Branch, now that you're an adult. Boll & Branch makes iconic bedding that will change the way you relax and sleep. Boll & Branch sheets are made from the finest 100% organic cotton, offering breathable softness that becomes even softer with each wash. And these sheets provide the perfect foundation for better sleep and pair effortlessly with Boll & Branch's blankets, duvets, and quilts. I love the Boll & Branch waffle bed blanket. It's great in the summer. It's great in the winter. I got it in oak, and I've gifted a few of them because the colors go with every color scheme, and they are soft and luxurious. Now's your chance to change the way you sleep with Boll & Branch. Get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza to save 15%. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
The world of fitness can be intimidating. You look online, everybody looks perfect, everybody has ideas about fitness, and you kind of don't know where to start or where to start over. Well, now you can renew your dedication to your health and wellness by tackling the reset on Alo Moves, a curated weekly program of Pilates, strength, and step goals to kickstart your fitness and wellness this year. So whether you're a complete beginner or you just want to step up your routine, Alo Moves gives you the full studio experience at home or wherever you are. Inspired by the 3-2-8 method, the reset from Alo Moves is designed to help you reset your mind, body, and spirit. I like Alo Moves because, like I said, it's not just yoga. It's Pilates. It's strength training. There's also meditation. They even have bar classes. I tried their classical Pilates flow class. It was a quick, 24-minute class. I felt great afterward, and it's totally portable. You can do it off your phone wherever you are. Start your 2025 off right with the Reset by Alo Moves. Get access to your weekly program with Pilates, strength, step goals, and tons of other on-demand classes for only $99 with a 30-day free trial. Go to alomoves.com and use code ELIZA30 to start today. That's ALOmoves.com, code ELIZA30. This is a limited time offer that ends January 31st.
It's that time of year. Time to treat yourself to a little something without spending a fortune. With Quince. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands because they partner directly with top factories and cut out the costs of the middleman, passing on the savings to you. And you can pass it on to your loved ones or to yourself, whoever you're buying that gift for. And of course, Quince uses premium fabrics and finishes for that luxury feel in every piece. We're talking Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50. I got one in black and I got one in burgundy, and they go with everything. And the best part is it's cashmere. So if you treat it right, it will last a long time. I gift Quince all the time because I love the idea of gifting something of quality, something luxurious, and not spending a ton of money. Quality can come at an affordable price with Quince. Treat yourself this winter without the luxury price tag. Go to quince.com/Iliza for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/Iliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Iliza.
You love women in a different way than me. So I think it hurts more. You do. You love, you're fans of them. You have them.
You're not fans. That sounds like you're not fans of any women.
You and I appreciate. Okay. Will you admit that you and I appreciate women in very different ways through a very different lens? That's also very similar. But also very different.
I sent you a photo of you today that I used to have above my desk at the Laugh Factory.
Gorgeous.
That I was given for my birthday before we started working together.
It was one of the best pictures I've ever taken.
It's a good picture. I'll also show you the other side too. You got like a full multi-page spread in J-Star magazine.
So some, Jewish media.
I feel like before people really knew you were Jewish.
Yeah, they did their
J-Star was really breaking the news.
They did their Gentile lookalike contest, and I got the cover. You can post that on the Patreon.
Weren't you like a MySpace girl of the week at one point, or month, or year?
On a deep, deep cable, almost internet channel called G4.
Oh,
Attack of the Show.
Yes.
With Kevin Pereira, who was really lovely. And I hope he doesn't
very smart guy.
ever hear me say my name wrong. Yeah, Portuguese. Last name is Portuguese.
Oh.
Yep, found that out. But he was really great. There's a guy I like.
There's one.
I'm going to text
We have
him.
one.
I'm going to text him. Like we were talking about.
I feel
Yes, I
like
do name wrong.
talking about men we hate.
Kiara.
and-
Yeah, it was MySpace Girl of the Week.
You know what's funny though? You're not at all like someone that hates it. You're not that stereotype of like, I don't like men.
That's
Even though
ridiculous.
you've been exposed to, I would argue, male comedians are some of the worst men of society.
Literally.
So you've been exposed to the worst of the worst.
Just the worst, like bipolar, undiagnosed mental illness, like
Just the
deeply
ego.
seated anger, like at a very young age before you knew anything about mental health and just like around these people. And you're like, oh, you're crazy. Got it. That's why you're writing me unhinged emails at 4 a.m., even though we don't know each other. Got it. Somebody in our Patreon was like, no more bridesmaids questions.
What? We won't have a show. The show's over.
Send in your juicy questions. I mean,
I know. Are we okay, everybody? We get the same kinds of questions, and I think situations have nuance. But you can send us any kind of question.
truly, I mean, it can be about like, an infection. I can't. Here's
we
the
would
thing.
love to know about an infection, but Iliza doesn't want to be asked about like, is a hot dog a taco? Is a nugget
You'll
a
get
chicken?
a violent
Is
reaction from me. But I will
Right.
say, like, I have deliciously juicy hot take things that have happened in my life with my friends. I can't share those with you because somebody listening will know them. It'll be too much. So
Right.
I only get
Right.
my satisfaction from you guys. So we're here for you.
Yes.
So come
You
on.
just need a sounding board.
Put
the
my
weird
degree to
things going
use.
on in your life.
Yeah.
What's that degree?
It's just a bachelor's.
I actually, you know what? I have a degree in psychology.
I said I have a bachelor's and that's all anyone needs to know. I have 4 years of college education that I'm ready to put to use. 4 full years.
Mine are in public relations and psychology.
Okay, well, that first one's not doing much.
That's why I added psychology.
You're like, turns out I don't like them.
I just didn't have enough to do.
The PR company's called It Stinks. Don't let the door hit you. I'm going to split you on your way out. Grab a cookie. It stinks. You're like the critic. It stinks.
Oh, boy.
All right, let's do it.
You want to do it? All right. Girl code or just a stalker?
There you go.
Hi, Liza and Emily. I know. I'm okay, promising. I love listening to the podcast. It's been my number one podcast for multiple years. And it honestly brings me so much joy and laughter in my world that is filled with so much stress. Can you guess why her world is filled with stress, Eliza? What the next sentence says?
I'm going for my third degree, a tertiary degree.
I'm a grad student. Now, for my question and context, I am 22, straight, female. The context for this starts a bit in the past, so bear with me, please. Okay, good. In my fall semester in 2022, I studied abroad in Madrid and ended up, quote, dating a Scottish guy I met over there. We were both 20 at the time. Let's call him Adam. We weren't in an official relationship because it could go nowhere long term, but we were having fun and enjoying each other's company. Decided to not see anyone else while we were there. I did ask, though, if he had a girlfriend back in Scotland, because obviously I would want nothing with a dude that was taken. He said no, and I took him at his word. The day before we would be, quote, breaking up, I saw a few texts on his phone from a girl that were seriously flirty. I confronted him, and he said it was a girl he'd been seeing over the summer, but I didn't hold him to anything because it seemed like just flirtatious messaging. I did, however, remember the girl's name and later looked her up on Instagram for curiosity's sake. Adam and I have continued to text over the past few years off and on, but it has always been very flirtatious. I told him, though, that once one of us got in a relationship, we'd stop being so flirty with one another. I'd be fine to just be friends. And I just wanted to be informed. He agreed. During this Christmas season, he was drunk, texting, and FaceTiming me, even going so far as to say, I'll love you always. I'm aware that this is dangerous territory to be in with a guy I will probably never see again. But I figured, what's the harm? I'm single, he's single. It's all just fun and games, right? Wrong. He posted a typical photo dump on Instagram, and I liked the post. I feel like I can't say the word dump without it sounding like a poo dump.
I was fine.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just immediately thought of that.
Wow, Emily.
I liked the post
Gross.
and was scrolling through it when I saw 3 photos of the same girl he was texting while we were in Madrid. Okay, now remember that this is now 5 5 years ago that she saw this girl and filed that away.
Look, the brain, the heart's what it wants, and the brain remembers what it remembers. You filed it away because you knew he was lying to you, and you're like, whatever. He's so hot and Scottish. Yeah,
right.
Hot Scotty.
That same day, hot Scottish.
Hot Scottish number one, hot Scottish. Number 2, hot Scottish.
I think Hot Scotty is our most requested song to be played.
It's amazing our podcast isn't breaking charts.
So insular. Like if you just turn on this episode, you're like, what are you talking about? What's going on? Okay.
It's basically just a phone call between you and I. We're basically just reading text messages.
With a lot of history. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That same day, I was texting him and randomly, in the middle of the conversation, he sends me a photo of him and her together in a sunflower field. He then proceeds to say, I wish this was you.
Is he drunk?
This
sunflower she's a
photo
drunken.
is.
Wait. No. Hold on.
He posted on Instagram. He's not.
They
drunk.
were talking.
Yes.
He was like drunk FaceTiming over the holidays.
Yes. So then on this day, he posted on Instagram photos of him and this girl. And later that same day, they were texting.
I wish this horrible sunflower picture was you. I wish you were the sunflower and I could be in a field of you.
Yeah. Well, no, it's him and the girl.
And the girl. I get it. I get it.
Okay. So
that's awful.
He says, I wish this was you, among other heinous things to say when he's clearly in some kind of relationship. I've attached our text to this email in case Iliza wants Emily to read them. I've also attached a photo of myself just in case Eliza's first comment is, well, I don't know, you might be ugly. Haha. Okay.
I mean, that sounds like me. It does. It sounds like me. But that doesn't matter because he's in, I mean, whatever.
Okay.
It's actually irrelevant. Okay?
I'm going to read you the email and then I'll read you the texts and forward you the photo. Okay. So we're finishing this.
We're going to finish the email. Okay.
Yes, we're going to finish the email and then we'll go through this. I've blocked his number and gone completely no contact with him because I refuse to get played again. My question is, do I reach out to this girl that he seems to be cheating on?
No.
Where do we draw the line between looking out for a girl that might be getting played to being seen as just a stalker ex trying to get one last stab at a guy from her past? Much love to you all on the pod, Marissa. Oh,
Marissa, your name is too pretty. What? Okay. To be doing this behavior. What?
I promise, Iliza, I've been recommending your podcast to all my friends, but they won't take my advice.
What the fuck?
I know. So you're dump all your friends.
Definitely dump your friends. They all seem really bitchy and not good for you.
We hate them.
Listen to me because we've had this asked before.
First?
No, but I think the audience does. I think the 6 of them listening would like them. So let's do it. People are on their breaks at the hospitals.
So she's basically, this guy is like, why? Because she says, he sends
Get your
the
act
photo.
together, Emily.
I'm getting it together.
An hour-long podcast.
I know. I was going to try to summarize, but I'm just going to read it to you. So he sends a photo and she says, very pleasant, and your girlfriend looks nice. And then you should accept that compliment. And then he replied, I wish it was you. And she said, and as someone with a girlfriend, that's not something you should be saying anymore. So then he's like, why? And she goes, because it's unfair to her and me. Why you? Because knowing I'm the other girl yet again isn't right. And you admitting it's unfair to her is answer enough. WDYM yet again. You'll always be the one. I'm about to snooze. I miss you. I'm sorry.
Oh, awful. Awful.
And
awful.
then he claims.
Wait, can I just say something before that?
Yeah.
Let's say I even agreed with you talking to this girl. Yeah. The fact that you're accusing him of something that he may or may not have done. But this guy definitely is young and playing the field. And the fact that you were like, you just said you wished your girlfriend was me. And he's like, gotta get some shut eye. Good night. That's crazy. I don't think he's manipulative on purpose. Either he's stupid or he's a sociopath.
He's stupid because he said he's like, stupid. Not a relationship RN yet. So right now, kinda IDK.
You took a picture in a sunflower field. That is an engagement announcement. That is a pregnancy announcement.
Why are you sending it to this girl? To our question asker, psycho?
Not only that, he did it to elicit a response. He was hoping you'd say something juicier and he didn't want to deal with your emotions. And he's like getting some shut eye. That is so manipulative and shitty and selfish. But, and listen to me, you will be the only one who looks shitty and selfish if you reach out to this girl. Because from his, first of all, he holds all the cards. I don't know how you're going to get a hold. I guess you'll like stalk her on social media, but he's going to say to her,
DM her.
like, she and I barely dated 5 years ago. And she's like still obsessed. I have not she photoshopped those texts. Like you will come off looking crazy. And by the way, either he's putting on a total front or this girl knows that he's kind of weird and she's like, I'm going to stick by him anyway. You are only doing this to get back at him. You are not doing this because of girl code. Deep, deep, deep down. I believe most women don't do these things because of girl code. It'd be one thing if you guys were friends, that's your cousin or something, but this is a random girl. And by the way, at this age, sort of all's fair. This isn't like they have 2 kids together or something. This is just some bullshit relationship that he's not even into that he will fuck up himself. Run, do not walk from this person.
It's hard. She blocked him. It's hard because I always want to say righteously, yes, call him out, help this other woman. In reality, I absolutely would not. She'll do the same sleuthing you did and she'll figure it out and you'll feel kind of guilty. But
then he'll be mad at you.
Thinking about these people.
And then he's going to be talking to you more. Is that what you want? More of this guy in your life? There is this thing. Even if you were to be like, hey, here's a list of all of our conversations and now I'm blocking you and him. I want nothing to do with it. Somehow the woman not in the relationship always looks desperate. It's the way our society views women. The woman without the kids is the one that needs to explain herself. The woman without the husband is the one that's sad and desperate. The third wheel. We have this certain amount of underlying ire reserved for any woman who isn't coupled up. So even if you are happy and healthy and normal, you will look bitter by doing this. Plus, he didn't really do anything. You didn't really date. You never shared a relationship. You didn't live together. You haven't seen him in a very long time. And he's only reached out to you when he's drunk. He's just bullshit. You really like him. And that is why you, at every turn in what you've written to us, have made it clear, yeah, we're just having fun, because you wanted to convince yourself that we were just having fun, all the while hoping he would fall so madly in love with you that you guys could make it work. And that's fine.
I'm going back to see if he's cute.
We've all been there. You were hoping it would work out, and you're hurt that it didn't. And that's where this is coming from.
And he's not cute.
I'm here dropping hot knowledge and you're just staring at a screen to see if someone you wouldn't find attractive anyway is hot.
If he was hot, I'd find him hot, but he's not. Our question asker can do better.
Okay, well, you've totally cut the vibe of the conclusion of that. Squinting at the screen. That's what it is.
They can't see me squint.
You doing this to her is you saying to him, fuck you for not wanting this enough with me. That's it. But good for you for not indulging. Good for you for when he's at there. Also, you want this guy at all? Now you know, he could do this to you. Move on, be done. He'll never reach out to you again. It doesn't matter.
If it's a moral quandary and you'll feel bad not to, I feel like
No, you don't.
You're a pretty genuinely good person based on these texts. You're just very, you're not kind of, you're not kind of stepping around it and kind of still flirting with them. You very much shut it down when you realized what was happening. And I have a lot of respect for that. So it'd be easy to kind of pretend you didn't know what was going on, but you didn't.
Doing this to her will only bring more of him into your life, and you don't want that.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Here we are. We're at the end of the year. What do you want your 2025 story to be? Do you want next year to be well, it was just the same as last year and I didn't make any changes. I just listened to a podcast about other people making their lives better and I kind of made the same mistakes. Every January, we get a chance. I mean, really, every day we get a chance, but every January brings you 365 blank, shiny, brand new pages waiting to be filled. And in 2025, maybe you're ready for something different. Life is not about planning a ton of resolutions, all to have them crumble by February and leave you feeling bad. Life is about becoming the the author of your own story. Think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write your new chapters and create the meaningful story you deserve to live. Be the main character in your own adventure. Be your own hero. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Easily switch therapists at any time with no extra cost. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Iliza to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Iliza.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Commercial Insurance. Business owners meet Progressive Insurance. They make it easy to get discounts on commercial auto insurance and find coverages to grow with your business. Quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Emily just sent me the wildflower picture. I take it all back. When you said posing in a sunflower field, I thought he was like holding her from behind, like
Well,
a
like
maternity.
a baby shoot? Yeah.
Like an announcement. No, this is
No, it's like an emo selfie.
Yeah, this is actually a very cool looking picture. And definitely not at all the type of photograph I was envisioning. Regardless, you're in a flower field with a woman, you guys are in a relationship. Next question.
Right. And she's
Can we
taking the
post it?
photo.
Can we post it if we black out their eyes? Will you ask them,
we can't
Emily?
post. No, we can't post a photo of this man who is not even
Black
the question
out the
asker.
eyes.
No,
Ask
that's
them.
not-
Ask them. This would be great for our
Leave
free
us on-
Patreon. God.
Okay,
Just
yeah.
fucking do it.
Marissa, fake name. You let me know if you want to post a photo. Don't let Iliza bully you into it. I won't post it if you don't want to post it. I know you don't.
I'm just saying, you say sunflower field. We're thinking like at dusk,
No, it's like
beautiful
an emo,
light.
like, we can explain it. There's big sunflowers. It's a guy, a lady in hoodies. He has his arm
Oh my
around
God.
her, and she has her hand up doing a selfie.
Even the way you described it, it just still sounds like he's like kissing her on the cheek. No, it had clearly been raining. His hair is like in his eyes.
I just assumed his hair looked like that. You think it was
She's
raining?
holding, yeah, because her coat is wet.
I thought that was the
So-
style.
Oh my God.
That
You're
was
ruining
acid
this.
washed and greasy bangs.
No, it had been raining. He's wet. They were running in a sunflower field, which is very relationship. She's holding the phone up so that the
Yeah,
whole
why
thing is
isn't
like
he
a.
holding it?
You
He
got to
has
stop
little
interrupting me.
arms.
I'm trying to describe this. You already did a really bad job. And what you described sounds like a Christian greeting card. And I'm trying to like give the full vibe of this and be descriptive. And you're
Okay.
like, I thought it was a stain. I thought she spilled her nugget juice. I'm trying to explain this to these people. She's holding it up, like think like Y2K, like album cover from like a high angle. She's not even looking. She's got her hoodie on. And he looks like a school shooter, to be honest, with like his eyes like super Donnie Darko, like under his hair. It's not
Yes.
hot, but it's very young and cute and fun. And I saw your picture, Marissa. This is not the guy for you anyway.
No.
This guy is trash. You are wholesome, adorable. And I hope you enjoyed that. What looks like a cider on your table.
I like how you're trying to like monk it up from just the one photo you have. Like, I bet I could guess what she's drinking.
Questioning you now. That's how you describe it. It looks like her. I thought it was just a sty
I-
overhead. Ask Marissa. Please let us know if we can post it and we black out their eyes. Just so everyone can see how dumb this picture is, but also cool.
I'll do a MS Paint drawing of it. I'll recreate it for the
There you go.
Patreon.
All right. Now on to the questions.
All right. Am I Eliza's worst nightmare? Hi, AAA crew. I am part of the longtime listener and fan club. There have been many a time where I've craved that golden Eliza advice, but decision-making paralysis always stopped me from picking which question to ask. I'm choosing
Send
this
them all.
question.
It's fine.
Right.
Just different names.
Create aliases. No, don't do that. I know when you do.
It's going to be us answering the same 5 people.
Hey, if they submit good questions that don't seem too made up, your question doesn't have to be real. It just
What kind
can't
of
be
gas should I
super
put in my
obvious.
spaceship? All right, next question. I mean, we're going to do it. Go ahead.
Well, no, we're doing this question. I'm choosing this question because I feel like it's a little different than your usual questions. I was listening to the last episode where an asker had 2 sisters who never keep a clean space, and there seemed to be a history of cleanliness issues in their childhood home. It was last week. It had me reflecting on my own experiences. I fear that I am on the other side of that asker's struggle, and it's killing me inside because I don't want to be that way. I've always felt like a type A person trapped in a type B body. I have lots of ideas and initial drives to be organized, be thorough, and plan ahead in anything I do. I'm an incredibly hard worker, but my ability to follow through or do things in an efficient way is simply not there. I am the person who is always running late, and I promise it's not out of disrespect. Despite my best efforts, I cannot keep a tidy home. I cannot consistently engage in routines. I have doom piles, that's in quotes, of unfinished projects everywhere and jam-packed junk drawers. I get stuck, as mentioned, by decision-making paralysis. I struggle with downsizing unnecessary items in my space. At work, it's hard to keep on task because I can only function if I'm jumping from task to task. Relevant background. I have an anxiety disorder with OCD, postpartum anxiety, and ADHD. I grew up with a parent who is a low-grade, undiagnosed hoarder. I'm in therapy and I've continued to work on all the elements that exacerbate my issues. I'm a married 31-year-old female with a 1-year-old child who will not separate from me easily, a fixer-upper house, and 2 very taxing jobs. I am a social worker, so the mental load is high, and I work with traumatized individuals, immigrant populations, young vulnerable children, schools, and people with disabilities. I'm a manager at one job, which requires traveling to different locations every day, ranging from 20 minutes to 1.5 hours away. And I'm a therapist with heavy cases at the other job. Both jobs are currently necessary for financial, licensing, and loan forgiveness reasons. I'm also the default parent for the most part. My husband is so involved and splits the load with me as best as possible, but his work is also very intense. So during his busy season, he is pretty much working 80 to 90 hours a week. I always tell myself, if this one barrier wasn't in place, I'd be able to stay on top of this. Or once this crazy busy event is finished, I'll be able to get over this hump. But the reality is there's always a new thing to take up time, space, focus, and energy. My husband manages to keep clean and organized and on top of things so well, even though his professional life is just as hectic as mine. So I feel like I have no excuse. He tries to be understanding of my struggles, but I can tell it's taking its toll. I recognize that my diagnoses and struggles are merely a tool for understanding my situation, not excusing the dysfunctional things I do. I hate how my habits impact my husband and my son. They just want to feel peace in their home, and it's nearly impossible. It makes me a bad role model, and I'm angry I can't do things like inviting friends over on a whim because of the state of our home. Iliza, as someone who values time management and follow through and someone who seems to do it so well, do you have any advice? I'm always so incredibly grateful for the difficult conversations you hold space for and the escapism that this podcast brings. This podcast is light years ahead of all other. I loved getting to see you on the tour. I was literally pumping when Hunter talked about his wife's clogged duct experience, so I felt very connected. Thank you, JJ. P.S. I missed the sketch show. It was genius. I still chant small and rare and text my brothers about our mom's mom alerts all the time. Now, Iliza, let me quickly say this question I think is very interesting today, especially talking about expectations on women, because in my mind, she's doing all that social work. Like, seems like you've got you can't do housework or keep clean, but you're like helping like 18 different populations. I feel like we can't all be good at all things.
Yeah, I mean, I was also, as you were speaking, I was like, wow, this person definitely has done the work. Like, you're definitely in therapy, and I can hear it. I mean, there's nothing that I can say to you as an unlicensed therapist that's going to make a difference. I don't have the lexicon. I don't have the information. I don't really have any background, especially in that. This isn't like a hot take advice thing. Because I'm sure every time you look at those doom piles, there's crippling anxiety about maybe I will do it, maybe I won't. My question to you is, when you do throw something out, like 10 minutes later, is it okay? Because I would just throw out all those doom piles. And I hate that you have to have these very important civil servant jobs for your own financial, not just making money, but like loan forgiveness and all this stuff. I can't give you advice on how to be better, but I can tell you this: it's never going to get easier. This is a roller coaster that will literally never slow down. And I have had to make peace with that in my own mind, like the amount that I feel pulled in a lot of directions and very bad about myself. And I have to, like, I learned this maybe 10 years ago. I was like, oh, no one's coming to save me. It's only going to get worse. Only I can fix this. It's never going to slow down. It's never going to be predictable. Like, maybe if you are on like a soap opera and you know that you tape every single day at this time and you know you'll be on it for the next 15 years, but most of our lives are not predictable. And especially in a job like that, especially if you're managing different sites and you're going to different places, like every day I'm sure is different and emotionally taxing. You need to find a place, a corner, a way, something where you can have like some time to yourself, because this is not sustainable.
I think also it sounds like right now you're paying off loans, you're saving up money. When you're in a better financial spot, I think anything you can offload with money. Like when I lived in a studio apartment, I didn't ever want to do laundry because I hated hauling the basket either to a laundromat or down. So I never did it until it was built up, and then I was stressed about it. So I started paying one of those laundry services that just like came and took the sacks and then brought the sacks back. Was it a stupid use of money? Probably, but it was like, I was like, that's off my plate. And it felt good to have it off my plate. Like, you can get help from others.
Is there a cleaning service that could just come once?
There actually are several services that specialize in hoarder situations and organization.
Will like sit with you and be like, do you want this? Do you want this?
Will help design things. And again, expensive, but will help set you up for success. Now, I think a big part of this is like the guilt around not feeling like you're doing enough. And it's like you are, but you only have so much stuff and you're dedicating it right now to all those vulnerable populations that need you. And there's only so much capacity.
Look, I cringe at the, what is it? Like self-care, like pour into your cup so that you may serve others.
What?
I really do believe it's become this movement that just excuses mass consumption of garbage. And I've been shouting this since before de-influencing became a thing. Like self-care is not buying cheap plastic bathroom toys off of Amazon. Self-care is not
setting up a bath with a tray and a little projector maybe, and a little light and
like a full dessert bar.
Yeah, a little gizmos.
Because these things are ephemeral. But self-care, if you take, and by the way, you're literally listening to the world's worst meditator, especially since the tinnitus. But I am very good. I've gotten very good at like taking the time for myself. And it doesn't sound like you have a lot of it, but you have it somewhere. I don't know if it's at 6 a.m. before everyone else gets up. You do a crossword puzzle. I don't know. It's 15 minutes, which we all have. These women, I'm so busy. I don't even have time to thaw out deli meat. I need to pre-cut the sandwiches a month in advance and already put the jelly in an IV to drip into my veins because I got to run the soccer practice. Maybe it is replacing the time you scroll with that 10 minutes, a few minutes at night where you could talk to your husband before you go to bed, finding some stillness. Maybe just start with a corner. Maybe just start with a drawer. Maybe have a friend come over and be like, we just need to do this drawer. And like, it's like a pet, like keeping that drawer clean. For whatever it's worth, somehow my bathroom always gets cluttered and I find great stillness in organizing my bathroom. And I do it a little too much because you're like, is this actually organizing it? But like, it's this quiet corner of the world where I can listen to a podcast about language or my own podcast for quality assurance.
Your favorite podcast.
And I can control this little thing. And maybe it's just something small, I don't know why you're fucking laughing.
I'll
tell you something.
You know that I like to do little spates of organization and then I pile things on the floor. So right now, if someone came into my home, they would think that something was wrong here and maybe a burglar had come. But, nobody's here, so it's fine.
You are an amateur hoarder, for sure.
I am. Yeah. I like to store things on the ground where I drop them. But also,
I think, do you have a porch? You could have your friends over. Do you have like a little corner of the kitchen? I'm hearing your situation. You need to make time for yourself.
Yeah.
It could be a drive at the end of the day to go get a coffee, whatever it is. You're going to explode. You seem like a lovely person just in the way you wrote that email. And I very much want this for you. And I love that you came to see me, but like you need to make some space in your life so that you can have mental space.
Yeah.
Something calming. And try not to make it something that you buy.
If you can.
You probably have everything you need for
Probably.
Just one drawer.
All right. You want to do an animal song?
Oh my God, yes.
Animal song. Your mouth is so small. Animal song. I give it my all. Squeeze your body. I give you a kiss. Animal songs. This time I won't miss.
Do you want to hear one of mine first?
Okay. Do you want to do it?
Robert the Rear. Robert the Rear when you're having fried deer. And we sing this to her, and by we, I mean me, like 4 times a day.
No, it hasn't become an earworm for him yet.
He calls her Robert the Rear. He doesn't do the fried deer part.
He picks up little bits of your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's always very funny.
It's very satisfying. Okay, let's hear it.
Hey, Iliza and Emily, this is Victoria, and I sing this song to my golden retriever, Winston. I think you'll recognize the tune as a familiar millennial bop. All right, here we go. Have you ever seen such a beautiful snoot? I just want to kiss that face for being so cute. When I see you snoozing, I go, oh, oh, oh. And though I try hard to contain it, we both know that you don't hate it. It's called cuteness, aggression, oh, oh. And it leaves a strong impression that I gotta scratch your belly and I need to kiss your mouth. You give me cuteness. Aggression. Hope you like it. Love you guys. Thanks. Bye.
Like Victoria, a fully produced song and the best quality recording.
Not only best quality, you could tell she has a nice mouth. Like I could tell she had nice teeth and like a nice lip shape.
Now,
very good voice.
I wonder if this is a thing that she says what it is in the title.
I had no idea what song that was.
I didn't think you would, but I'll give the other millennials a second. But it's Lizzie McGuire.
Oh, sorry, I'm
Hillary
too
Duff,
elder.
Which I think you're a little past.
Yeah, I'm a little too old for that. But that doesn't mean it doesn't resonate with others.
It's just a good song.
Well, the important takeaway is that you wrote a full song, not just like a little gibberish limerick. And there were no made up words. Like you wrote a real song with really good rhyme schemes that wasn't ridiculous.
Yeah. Good work.
You didn't call your dog Bon Squoon. You didn't talk about fried deer.
No.
You didn't talk about her magic mouth, like in the way that, it was just very normal and I respect it.
Are you glad your song went before hers?
No, I don't care.
Okay, we're going to answer a question, but I'm also introducing my new segment, which is we decide if people have a baby or not. And if we say they shouldn't, they don't get to have a baby because someone wrote
Who's asking?
To baby or not to baby? Well, you've gotten this a few times where people are like, hey, I'm at this point in my life. This is going on. Like, should I have a baby? You know what? You can ask us and whatever we decide you have to have or not have a baby based on people on the podcast.
And if you don't follow through with what we say to do or not do, we'll be billing you.
If you have the child belongs to us. But
you want that?
I don't want a responsibility, but do something with it.
Okay, this is Baby Court.
Baby Court. Hello to the pod crew. Please keep me anonymous as I've recommended this podcast to so many friends and family. Now the risk of someone working out this is me is too great. I like that. I think that people are rejecting it out of hand. Feel free to refer to me as Jane. I'm hoping you can help me with a personal dilemma. I, 30, female, and my husband, 34, male, are not seeing eye to eye on when to have our next child. Okay, well, I should get to say if you can or not.
Can I guess?
Yeah, please.
She's like, let's do it. And he's like, I'm not ready. I'm only 34. I just got my own apartment.
We have a little girl turning 2 on Wednesday who's the absolute light of our lives. We are currently renovating our house and both agree we need to wait until the house is finished and the extra bedroom done before we commit to another child. To my mind, that means that if we start trying now, by the time baby 2 arrived, we would be ready. Yep. My husband, however, wants to wait and travel more as a family. I have family out in Australia and he has friends out there and he wants to visit next year when our daughter is 3. To me, that adds another year on the wait. And whilst I would like to visit Australia, I'm also conscious that we would like 3 kids. I don't want a massive age gap. I'm not getting any younger. And it's not him that has to carry the baby and then push it out his hoo-ha. I don't know if I'm overthinking this. Help. I need you to either dispense your sage wisdom or tell me to stop being an idiot and overthinking this. I also want to say how glad I am to hear you and your family are safe. Thanks, Anonymous. Okay, so I say you only get 1 kid. Baby court. You can't have the other two. Move to Australia, get a koala.
Do you know that they are not soft?
That's the word on the street, which is really upsetting. Is there...
Not only are they not soft, turns out they're wild animals and they smell.
And they have chlamydia, yeah.
Yeah, but that's curable. Who cares if they have fucking... Everybody always mentions that.
They're not... Is there a better Australian animal? A softer one that we could get on board with?
Any wild animal is going to be a little gnarly. There are more beautiful ones, like a kookaburra.
Oh, you don't think
Beautiful bird.
You don't think there's a single furry animal out there with like a nice, but with like a nice smooth coat? You think
Maybe
they're
a
all
quokka.
out there dirty and gross?
Yeah, I mean, I think any wild animal. I think anything I don't know. Australian shepherds.
This really has just
There it is. That's my answer. Australian shepherds.
But those aren't a wild ant. The thought, not even in Australia, you just now have me thinking that every beautiful wild animal out there is like crusty.
Every beautiful wild animal everywhere is crusty because they are wild.
Oh.
Like, unless you like really take care of a cow, like it's probably not soft. I don't know. It goes back to the horses. Their noses are always soft.
Okay, so this person's baby timing. What's
She's
up?
listening and we're like, what animal's the softest?
I know. She's like, please, when do I have my second child?
Well, it's easy to be like, well, we're just not ready yet. Like we did the one. Okay, great. Like we're not ready yet. You're saying I don't want a big age gap. And you're right. If you want to have 3 kids, that's going to take you the next 3 to 4 years to do that, right? To have 2 more kids. How much time do you want to recover in between? And you do want to be young enough to where you have the energy and you don't want an age gap. What age gap do you want? And you're right. If we start trying now, I don't know how difficult it was for you to conceive the first baby. It's often easier for the second one. Like your body kind of knows what to do, but you may not have it like that. You don't know. You don't know what you're going to face. Let's say everything's fine and you could just have a baby whenever. That is 9 months before you have it. It is really, you cannot travel with a newborn baby. It is really hard with a little baby. And that is a very long flight. But like just because of a trip, you're going to put off what you deem like to be the perfect age gap between you and these 3 kids because your husband wants to take a trip. Take the trip now. There's always going to be a reason why you can't do something. And then when you have the 2, it's like, well, then you definitely can't go to Australia with 3 kids and one of them's under 0 years old. I think your husband's just a little nervous. Yeah.
In the body?
Yeah, in the body. I just think there's something not being said here. And I think it's important to get to the root of that and to not discount what your husband is feeling, which is now that you've gotten 1, like we got it, but there's an anxiety there around 2 kids, around 3 kids. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of responsibility and it will cut down on your ability to roam freely throughout this world. So I think you owe it to yourselves with no charge to sit down and be like, what is this really, really about? And if he really, from the bottom of his heart, is like, I just want this room done, then there's no reason you can't say, but if this is going to be done in 6 months and we can have the baby in the next 10 months, what's the problem? Like, right. I just think that these are things that should not be impenetrable barriers.
Right.
And they seem like they're standing in the way of your family planning.
Yeah. Is he still on board for 3? Like what's because if you want to have 3, you have to, he wants to vacation as a family. Okay, then go to Australia when you got 3. Go to Australia in 5 years. What?
Yeah. Like Australia's not going anywhere. It's pretty big. But I do think in a very kind way, you should have a real conversation where he can really say what he's thinking.
Yeah.
But you're also within your rights. You're like, I'm not getting younger. This does get harder. I am getting older. And if you want your kids to only have like 2 years apart, you got to bang it out. Like I got my body back in shape and I was like, oh, guess I'm having a baby now. I mean, we wanted Ethan, but like, here we go again. Like it's a lot of work.
Glad you're saying you wanted him on the podcast for when
oh my
he
gosh, very
later.
much. Very much so.
When he goes back through the archives, he's not like, hey.
He'll be like, fuck yeah, my kids listen to my podcast. He's doing great.
Okay, you ready for cobs?
It's the top with a cob. We're doing it right. Every day, you just take a bite, top of the cob.
Starting with bottom, I'll read. Let's see.
Do you think, as a woman, you can get a cold from someone who has the cold going down on you? Do you think you can receive a cold vaginally?
I mean, that's how Michael Douglas got... No, that's not how he got cancer. Vice versa.
That, Emily?
That's how
I'm sorry,
Michael
what does he
Douglas
think?
got throat cancer, vice versa. Going down on Catherine Zeta-Jones, he got throat cancer.
I'm sorry, how does that work? How does that work?
I don't know. That's what he said. But I guess he got it in his throat. So, no? Can a scientist write in?
Is there a scientist? Can you?
Right.
During COVID, I was like, if somebody farts on me and they have COVID, could I get COVID? They farted
Because there
in
are
my
little
mouth.
particles. Yeah, you see them in
Right.
those, like when they do those videos of showing their.
A
showing them
cold
in-
is a respiratory illness that is transmitted through particles, but it's like
Right.
respiratory based. It's not blood based.
Right. So, no.
Well, does that mean I have to inhale it through my mouth? If there's like another open part of me and your particles go into me, could I get the cold like through a cut or through oral sex? So
I'm really glad you waited till the end of the show to bring this up.
I was just asking because I have a cold and I'm just wondering.
I don't. Well, I think vice versa would be a different question.
Nope. Because I know who gave me this cold.
Oh.
And I'm just wondering.
You're trying to, okay. You're trying to make accusations. You're not worried about someone else's well-being. You're trying to make accusations.
I am worried for all of us. And in a journey to seek my own answers, that's great if it helps another person.
No, I think you could now give someone a cold, but I don't think that's how you got a cold.
I could definitely give someone a cold, but if I went down on a woman with this cold, could I transmit the cold? You don't know. You're of the two of us, you're the least qualified as a doctor. And I only am because I keep saying it.
You claim to be.
Let's get to top of the cup.
Okay, we're doing bottom. I like this one from a listener, Barbara. I
go ahead.
hate that everything is called a hack when it's just people doing stuff. For example, I saw a video of a McDonald's hack where these ladies mashed up soft serve cones in a container and dipped their fries in it. A hack used to be something that would save you time or be useful, but now it's just clickbait.
Just something you did.
That's true. That's true. And I've seen those. It's like these people literally take tubs and they put it in the console between the driver and passenger seat. They pour stuff in there and they mash it up. And they're like, the best way to eat McDonald's as a soup.
It's disgusting.
And you're like, what?
No, that's just for clicks.
Well, yes, 100%. So now the word hack is this like quick, like, hey, we've got a quick trick. Come look at this. We've got something for you. We got a trick. We're going to help you hack the system. And then it's like, what if you take soap bars and build a house out of them?
What's that? The internet took something good and made it worse because it monetized it. So now everybody does it.
Yeah.
My bottom of the cob is slime.
Oh, is Sierra getting into it?
No, and she never will.
Okay.
It's not even about her. It's about the commodification of slime, the ASMR accounts,
The commodification of slime.
It used to be, it was something you made with like soap and like cornstarch, and it was like a fun science project, or you bought like gack from
gack.
Nickelodeon. I took Sarah to this toy store and they had a whole wall of like different slimes and different charms and different scoops and different types. This is ultimately plastic in different forms. And you destroy it and then you throw it away. You make it, it's messy. Like it's not doing anything other than a fleeting tactile experience that is ultimately, for sure, very bad for the planet. And you see these accounts are like, would you like a scoop of charm in your slime? Like, oh, cool. More microplastic beads that all mush together and then throw away when it gets hard. I just think it serves no purpose. And there are plenty of other toys.
I think people making it is like really cool and fun as a science project, but I get served all these ASMR videos of like scoopability of slimes and it's just like slurping wet sounds. And I'm like, it's something else. There's a lot of the internet where I'm like, is this like a fetish thing that I'm not part of? The nail tapping, the slime.
People tap their nails and they don't even know where that came from. They're just like, so people at home will like this. It's just a sign of a lack of intelligence. Like you don't even know why you're doing half the shit that you do. The slime thing bothers me. It just looks like plastic garbage. And there's not even like, oh, you bought this on Amazon. It was cheap. You used it. It broke. This is, you are making it just to throw it away.
There's multiple like boutique companies on Instagram, et cetera, that are just mixing things just for the video, which is maddening.
Yeah. Don't DM me like, I have a boutique slime company and it's all organic. Like, no, it's the whole movement. So even if you have, it's a slow movement. What's your bottom of the cup?
My bottom of the cup is LinkedIn. Why we got to be there? I get constant emails. It's like, this person got promoted. I'm like, I don't know them and I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just as the dumbest of all the networks where it's like, unless one of you is about to come on here and offer me $100,000, why do I have to see your shit?
It's just like a less fun social media that like shows that you got an undergrad at like Pepperdine.
And whenever you post, like you're supposed to post things and I'm like, oh, look at what my company's doing. And I feel like an asshole.
Somebody sent me something and they were like, yeah, check my LinkedIn. And I was like, I'm not on LinkedIn. I mean, what about me makes you think I would be on LinkedIn?
Any comedians that are on, you know what? Some people are business people, but some comedians have LinkedIns. And I'm like,
that's like a corporate comic. No.
Yeah.
Top of the cob.
Top of the cob.
Top of the cob.
Do you want fan first?
Sure. I have a TV show recommendation.
Oh my God, you watched a TV show?
A whole one.
A top of the cob add-on to what Iliza said about checking the big things off the list, i.e. dog has been walked, pooped, baby is fed and napped, etc. When forecasted rain is a top of the cob in and of itself this weekend in Southern California, but you perfectly time your dog walk with a break in the rain when these SoCal pups refuse to poop in wet weather. So it's a double top. It's number one, getting things done. Number two, timing it appropriately.
Yeah. Getting it done.
Do you want me to do my top so you can get into your TV show?
Sure.
My top is getting similar. I booked several appointments and did like all the phone calls I needed to do today that you just put off. So I called. I got one of the cats more eye medicine because it's a prescription that she takes daily. I called and set up a blood test for her in 6 months. I got like none of it was for me, but just all those annoying administrative tasks. I set up a haircut for myself only because my mom bullied me really hard about it.
Make her pay for it.
She probably would if I asked.
What's her name? Marsha?
Nina. She would if I asked, but I won't ask. But she was like, please, please. Oh, because you know what? My top actually.
What?
Because you'll love this. I haven't told you. I've decided to finally take a day off work to go on a little trip.
Where are you going? Decatur?
Driving on down to Pensacola.
Why?
Because Angie Harmon's going to be at her first ever convention.
You know what? It's nice. Are you driving yourself?
I am. And my mom's like, please get a haircut before you see Angie Harmon and Lorraine Bracco. And I'm like, okay, for them, I'll get a haircut.
When you see her, are you going to be like, they were going to find it? Wasn't she in?
Yeah, Lorraine Bracco was. Yeah, she was
they were
Ray
gonna
Liotta's
find
wife.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a good rewatch Goodfellas. We can talk about it.
I do. I like Goodfellas.
Rewatch it.
I like Ray Liotta. So.
Oh, that's what I was going to tell you.
Oh, about Ray Liotta?
Well, my top, no, it's about a movie.
Okay.
Because I've seen all the Buzzy movies. I'm in the WGA and I voted and stuff like that for SAG Awards. Well, two things. My top of the cob is a TV show. And this TV show perfectly falls into what this show is all about, which is just a break.
Mm.
The fires happened and, it's at night and so much TV feels like clubs I'm either left out of or homework.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
And we put on this show called Culinary Class Wars. It is a Korean cooking show. The name is terrible. It's about fine dining chefs versus like regular chefs, like restaurant owners, one like different types of chef. One lady cooks for a public school. One woman owns an omakase. And so it's the white spoons versus the black spoons. It should be called Black Spoon, White Spoon, whatever. It was basically like Iron Chef meets Squid Game. It was the production design is so gorgeous.
Yeah.
And they're all Korean chefs and there's 100 of them. And in the first episode, they cut 80.
So it's 50 versus 50 at first?
No, it's like way different. There's less white ones and there's different challenges. And then they had, I don't want to give anything away. But at first you're like, okay, it's all Korean and they use a lot of Korean ingredients. And you're just like, wow, I didn't know there were so many types of jangs. The judges are so knowledgeable, so likable. And by the end, you're like, you have your favorite, like you're deeply invested in all of these Korean chefs. And it's the best when you have a show you can return to for like a couple nights. Like it's a world that you miss. Like I miss the world of Korean cooking now. So I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. And what I loved about it was, unlike an American competition cooking show, at no point did any male chef get a bad attitude, walk off set, have a nervous breakdown, have too much hubris. when they would get criticized by the judges, it was always like, yes, that judge was absolutely right. And I need to work harder.
Right. Not like, fuck them. They didn't get my vision.
It was super Korean. It was awesome. And I highly recommend it. And on that note, I also recommend, my daughter accidentally sat on the remote and it turned the TV to like, you know, your TV comes with weird channels based on like the type of TV it is. It'll be like the LG Bravia My Photo channel. Like just weird.
Yeah, I just distribute content to those channels, Iliza, as part of my job.
Maybe you did the Christmas exchange.
No, I'm not licensing that one, but...
Oh, I'm sorry, the holiday exchange.
Oh, excuse me. No, but...
Like an LGBTQ version of the holiday, the Kate Winslet movie, which I know you've seen.
I shockingly have never seen it.
Oh.
I keep meaning to, but I'm just like, I need to be in the right mood because I know I'm going to love it, so I don't want to watch it at the wrong time. Same for the new Cameron Diaz movie, Back in Action, to be honest. I'm like, I got to really settle in for Cameron's comeback.
This is you're putting.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay, go back to
the holiday is great. Everybody's seen it, but this is like a queer version, and it's lovely. It's really like I went into it being like, this is going to be so shitty and annoying. It's adorable. I really liked it. And the guy who plays, well, I'm not going to go into it, but they're all like cute, and you're like, I hope they find love. And like at the end of the credits, I was hoping for like a little bump to be like 1 year later, and like no, like it was just over. It was, you know, probably shot in Ottawa for $1, but I really liked it.
So you're going to get more into, are you going to watch like a Hot Frosty, or you just kind of like, I
told you I watched Hot Frosty. I told you I saw that. It was not great. It was not even like for fun bad. It was just like, come on, guys. But I would tell you what, I got a cold and we were in the Pacific Northwest and it was freezing and I had a few hours to myself and I was like, I'm going to sit on this couch with the heater on and I'm going to watch the Holiday Exchange.
That's nice.
By myself. And I enjoyed it.
I'm trying to, there's the one that well, you probably don't need to watch it, but there's a Lifetime movie that's about a chef. You could watch it just like, it could be just like
this isn't like a gateway drug.
This was just intro.
Me. This is the type of movie you would put against. You should watch this and The Holiday and tell me which one's better. The only part that I didn't believe, because it was about all these gay guys, I was like, none of them fucked on the first date. That I don't buy. What? They love it. No one loves having sex more than gay men.
Okay.
They love it.
That should have been so many apps. They have so many of their own apps.
You got to get it in. When there's no threat of being pregnant, you got to get it in.
Okay, you should watch one called Recipe for a Perfect Christmas. It's about a food critic.
Okay, that's not what this is. That's not what this is. This is me telling you, this is me sharing something.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm using your share to pivot into making you do other things. Okay, I'll take that at face value. Keep talking.
We've got a lot of fun news coming up about the show. We are going to be doing some more of those awesome YouTube episodes, and we're going to be bringing you guys a lot more polished content with a big change we have coming up. Emily doesn't like it when I share stuff like that, but I am. I did it. You have to deal with it.
It's like nobody's excited to hear that. Nobody's like, oh, good. They're alluding
okay. Well,
to
then
change.
if you're in LA, come out to the taping of Iliza's Locals on February 5th. It's going to be at Los Candiles.
Birthday.
Okay, in the middle of this announcement. Also, I need to write down that it's your birthday. I gotta write this down.
You can't hear someone say the date and not be like, that's my birthday. You have to say it legally.
I feel like multiple times during this, I've said something and like in the back, you're just like, oh, a tuna sandwich. And then you said something important. Can I finish this? I'm making a TV show for Amazon and you're like, it's my birthday. Which is like fair, but also really.
I am just here to hamper your career. I don't know why you keep working with me because I'm just bringing it down.
Well, you're the only, I'm cold. You're a wet blanket, but I still need a blanket.
That's so sad.
If you live in LA, please, there's only a certain amount of tickets. We're doing a taping of Iliza's Local Season 2. Season 1 is up on Hulu, and we've got Season 2 coming up. It's at Los Candiles nightclub. That's 2100 Cypress Avenue in Los Angeles. Tickets are definitely going fast. I have chosen 15 incredible comics, some of whom have featured for me, some of whom I've just seen out working, comics that I'm just fans of, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And this venue is incredible and very LA. So come on out. Have a night of laughs.
I'm going to be a Nepo baby and do 15 minutes on your next one. Where I just come out and I'm like, Here's a picture of my cat, and here's another.
And so, echoing what we said earlier, write in your questions. Doesn't matter how weird, doesn't matter if even about you, hot, gossipy. We are there to be your big sisters. We're here to weigh in.
Yeah, we'll have
No
regrets.
Where'd you get those shoes? Easy. They're from DSW. Because DSW has the exact right shoes for whatever you're into right now. You know, like the sneakers that make office hours feel like happy hour. The boots that turn grocery aisles into runways. And all the styles that show off the many sides of you, from daydreamer to multitasker and everything in between. Because you do it all in really great shoes. Find a shoe for every you at your DSW store or DSW.com.
Hi, I'm Katie Nolan from the internet and cable TV, or as your mom called me, that sports gal from Celebrity Jeopardy. I have a new podcast called Casuals. It's a podcast for people who like sports a normal amount. No stats or spreadsheets, nary an X or O to be found. Just laid back, casual banter about home runs, hockey fights, and good old-fashioned drama. Casuals is a twice-a-week hang with me and my friends from across comedy, sports, and entertainment, where we talk about all the funny, weird, interesting stuff happening in and around the world of sports. Think of it as all the best things about sports with none of the homework. So whether you're a die-hard fan or vaguely sports curious, Casuals is the podcast for you. You can find Casuals on the SiriusXM app, Pandora, or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to smash that follow button. That way you'll never miss an episode. Just try it. You can always unsmash it.